Okay, good morning. Sorry for the slight delay in starting. Thank you very much for joining. This is Martin Ho's press conference. We are previewing our trip to Man United this weekend for the quarterfinal of the League Cup. We will be all online today, so please use the raise hand function if you'd like to ask questions. No embargoes on this. Emma Sanders, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, good morning, Martin. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. We've just heard from Mark, and I asked him whether the last game was the craziest that he's ever managed. I'd imagine it was right up there for you as well.
Yeah, two different emotions probably from the game and during the game. To go in front and in the game and perform the way we did. You know, when you go to Lee, that it's a tough place to go and play. They don't really concede much in terms of chances and opportunity, and definitely don't concede many goals. So yeah, really good emotions and happiness from the performance in terms of a 75 minutes. But we need to make sure that in those moments maybe we defend a little bit more diligently. Tactically, I adjust things a little bit different to make sure we're more efficient and more solid. But yeah, I couldn't have asked any more, Emma. They give me everything, and yeah, there's probably two bits of emotion and probably a bit of personal emotion connected too.
Yeah, there was a bit of talk about, a potential rivalry building because of the fact that, obviously your time together at Manchester United. But there's been some reports this week about some transfer targets as well that have been linking yourselves and Man United to some players as well. So, I suppose what can you tell us about that? And are you prepared to compete with United for some of those players?
Yeah, I think the rivalry, I think with every club, I think people put more edge on it maybe because of I've been at the club and we've worked together before, and but as I said, what we're doing at Tottenham here is unique to us. How we play, how we organise, the structure we use is not borrowed. It's unique and it's designed and it's coached. So it's unique to myself and to the club. And then regarding the transfers, there's always going to be numerous clubs interested in certain players, and there'll be some truth in some of them. There's probably not some truth in some of them, as you know. But naturally, you as a club, when you're competing and you're around the same players and you have interest in those players, people are going to talk about it. But we'll move forward with what we think is right for us in terms of transfer targets and recruitment. And once those players are available, if we can make the difference in terms of getting them to Tottenham, then brilliant. But yeah, we have work to do, and as I've said before, that's probably a hard thing for you as journalists that until something's signed, I don't really talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely fair. Just team news. Any updates from the last squad?
No, the same squad. The positive thing is we have some of the players that were out from the international break where they were injured on that break. Some of them are starting to return to training, so that's really good to see. They've been on the pitch, some of them, so yeah, really nice to see some of them back, and all the other players are making good progress. So yeah, going into the game, we'll probably be around the same squad roughly. But yeah, going into 2026, we should have a lot of those players back with us.
Great stuff. Well, enjoy the weekend and have a great Christmas.
Thank you. You too. Have a good Christmas.
Tom Gary?
Morning, Martin. Really nice to see you. Just Emma was asking about the rivalry there. When you have a 3-3 thriller like that, though, does that add a little bit more spice a week later? It's quite unusual to play each other so quickly, isn't it? Off the back of such a game like that.
Yeah, I think you don't maybe expect that because there's probably a lot of other ways things can fall. But as I said, with cup draws, you don't know the way they're maybe going to go, Tom. And yeah, you have to prepare maybe slightly differently in terms of what you've seen in the game you've played against them now, and then going into this one on the weekend. But yeah, I think rivalry in football is good, whether that is club to club, fans to fans. I think it's important that we build that within this sport and within this women's game, because I think it'll only benefit us in the longer run. It'll make more of a talking point. So yeah, I think if we're talking rivalry, that's with every club, not just with me and Man United. And it's not about me or Mark. It's about Manchester United and Tottenham competing. So yeah, I don't get connected to it's about me or Mark. It's about the two sets of players when they go onto the pitch. But yeah, we're excited for the game, and hopefully we can reap some of the same performance that we put in, but better in certain areas.
Please can I ask what this specific competition means to you? I know the club was so proud, wasn't it, of that run to the Wembley Cup final and the FA Cup. So what would it mean if you could go deeper into this competition?
Yeah, really important for any competition, Tom. I will not disrespect any competition. FA Cup, League, Subway Cup. I won't disrespect any of them. I want to win, and this club wants to win, and the fans want us to win. A lot of you will, as journalists, the ones closer to Tottenham, like Chris, will want us to win. And I'm not coming here just to take part. I want to make sure I bring success to this club. We bring trophies to this club, and you've probably seen that maybe in the competition since we've played. I will rotate, but it'll be for the best of the team to win the game, and it won't be much rotation. And I want to make sure that we continue to move that way. We build a winning mentality and a strong culture based on that. And I think if we do that now, we can be successful in the long term. So, going into this competition, I want to win it.
Thanks, Martin. Good luck.
Cheers, Tom. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Chris Cowling.
Hi Martin, hope you're well. Now, at this halfway stage of the season, you've got 20 points. Of course, Spurs Women got 20 points in the entire of last season, so you must be very proud of that. Of course, through to the League Cup quarter-final as well. Are you a lot further on than you thought you would be at this stage?
If I'm being honest, probably did I expect so much probably progress in the short term? No, because as a new coach, you maybe know you can build so much, but you probably don't expect as much in terms of success. You know there's going to be bumps, but as I said before, the players have worked extremely hard, the staff are working extremely hard, and then you reap the rewards for that. So I think if you're looking at performance and the way they've performed, have they probably proved me wrong in some moments? Definitely, yeah. And I'd like to be proved wrong, because then it shows that we're further ahead than where we envisioned. But I'm not surprised by their work ethic, their commitment to doing things, their application and attitude. That's definitely not ever been questioned, and I'll never question that because I see it every day. But yeah, being on 20 points, totaling last season, I think for the players, that's a really big kind of mentality boost, that they know that, okay, then when we can put performances together and build momentum, then we can be really competitive. And we're 1 point behind Manchester United in the league, we're 2 points behind Arsenal in third, and I think that position we're in now, I think we deserve to be there based off performance. But it doesn't really matter where you are now, it matters where you are at the end of the season.
Martin, of course, Manchester United on Sunday. Is it a positive thing or a negative thing by playing them in the league the week before?
Either. You can look at it from different perspectives, but all I see is Manchester United in front of us. How can we better what we were good at, but then really evolve on the things that we maybe suffered with at times in the game? And that's my job as a head coach, and that's the pressure on me to make sure that we go into that game with the right attitude and behaviour. We go in tactically with the right ideas of how we're going to execute those moments, and the players just going out and enjoying the football and performing to the levels I know they can. And it's when you play two teams back to back, Chris, you're kind of probably both clubs will be thinking, what do we adapt, what do we change? But we'll have the same situation when we come into the new year. We're going to play Leicester and Leicester back to back, so it seems to be something that's happening here quite a lot at the club.
Tom referenced the FA Cup final, of course, that took place last year, losing to Manchester United. Have the squad, have the players ever spoke to you about that game? Is there a sense of they want revenge for that game as well? Because when you look at the League Cup quarter-finals and one semi-final in the last 3 years as well, Spurs have lost to Manchester City twice in the last 3 years. What is it about these Manchester clubs, and do they want that revenge against United? Yeah,
I think internally the players will know. We'll probably still have some hair from maybe the final in terms of not winning it. But I haven't really discussed that with them in terms of that was their past, and I want to try and focus on what we can control, and that's our performance going to the weekend and how we apply ourselves correctly now with the way we're trying to play. But they will definitely have something inside, because they're athletes, they're competitors, and they want to win as much as possible. So, and going off the weekend, Chris, again, the difference in mentality of the group is they were really annoyed coming off the pitch, which you would. But the disappointment is there to see, and I think maybe we're now in a space where we expect to win and we want to win, and we're not happy with anything else. And for a group to come off the pitch in that way, so disappointed, is pleasing for me as a coach in some regards, because it shows how far we've come and the direction we're going in. But I know there'll be some sort of edge there maybe in our group to want to put things right.
Martin, lastly for me, Emma touched on the transfer window, of course, it's coming up. You must feel very backed at the football club so far since you've come in. Do you expect a busy window for you in terms of incomings and outgoings? And do you want a busy window because just when, like I said, at this halfway point, you're only 2 points away from the top three. You know, you must be dreaming, really, thinking, you know, we could get that Champions League spot if we had a couple of extra players and had that real depth.
Yeah, I think when you go into any transfer window as a head coach, you'd be lying if you said you didn't want to evolve the team and had more squad depth and etc. But we'll work hard in this window to make sure that we can be competitive if there's a player we identify that's right for the team, for the squad, like we did with Signa. We want to make sure that when we're in the window that we're a team that's being talked about, and we're not a second thought. And the club have been outstanding. Owners, Vinay, Andy, Rebecca have been outstanding in terms of making sure that we're in those conversations. As I said, once hopefully we can do some of that business in January and evolve the squad. And if you want to compete, like you said, Chris, in the top part of that table, you need to find ways that you can add that depth if you're going to be in the season for the long run. You know, you maybe pick up injuries here and there. You're going to be in FA Cup at the same time, so you know there's extra games. And you want to make sure that you've got the opportunity to be unpredictable. You've got opportunity to be competitive and add competition to the squad. And if we feel that's the right player for us, which I'm very selective on, if it's the right players, then we will look to add them to the squad.
Thanks for all your time this year, and best of luck and Merry Christmas.
Chris, you too. Thank you very much.
Helen.
Hi Martin.
How are you?
Good to see you. One of the things that struck me watching the game of the weekend was Olivia Holt was just outstanding. Everything she did through the whole match, she either held up, she tracked back, she just did amazing. She's just been one of the best players, I think, in the WSL this season. Can you talk a little bit about her qualities, but also how exciting it is to think about her linking up with Signa Gausset?
Yeah, I think Olivia's took big steps and really turned the corner in terms of with her performances, defensively and offensively. We know with the ball, the type of player she is, you have to give her a little bit of freedom, working within a framework, but giving her the opportunity to be herself. And she will do things that maybe I don't know she's going to do at times, so the opposition definitely don't know. So, as a player, very, very clever and very intelligent, thrives on pressure, thrives on wanting the ball and being the person who's got to make a difference. And her technical ability is second to none. What she can do with the ball is, in a lot of moments is breathtaking in terms of the things she does. You just stand and applaud. And then she's tried to change the parts off the pitch, which she's doing really well with in terms of physically making her do more and giving her more responsibility defensively, because that's part of the game that I'm really big on. If we have that base, then we can be harder to beat. And I think she's really changed that side of the game, and that's maybe a side that maybe a lot of people maybe would have discussed and said that she doesn't really apply in those moments, but her attitude and commitment to doing that off-the-ball work is important. And I think I've seen that through her data now, that she's running harder than she's ever run. She's running harder than she's ever run. She's in more duels than she's ever been in. I think her overall game, if you're looking through this first part of the season, she's had a massive impact on the team, as well as other players. But I think in the league, she's probably made her name a little bit more known from where it was probably last year, where she suffered injury, she didn't play much. And we've just tried to give her a platform and the confidence to go and play. And Olivia's got a lot of work still to do in terms of in both phases of the game and for their own kind of physical and technical makeup. She's not nowhere near the finished article, but she's got a lot of work to do, and I have a lot of belief that she can fulfill that if she applies herself correctly.
And how excited are you about linking up with Signa?
I think two wonderful players, and obviously I had time of working with Signa too, in Bran, and I know what she's capable of. Again, a player with very good intuition and creativity, very powerful and dominant in 1v1, and in around the box is very dangerous with the ball in terms of end product, in terms of finishing. So, they will have to build a relationship if they're on the pitch together, and I think both players will enjoy playing with one another because of the way they see the game and how they want to play. And hopefully, they can build a platform around themselves where they can connect well on the pitch, but also they can support each other as individual development, but also team and collective success.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you was, you just mentioned about data, but one of the things that I have conversations with people all the time is how some data is just like worthless, because people say with XG that Man United won that game at the weekend 100-0 or something, and it just makes no sense because we watched
No, I think I'm probably partially the way there. I think we get data's important for some aspects. Don't get me wrong, but I think some data parts I don't always feel are highly valued. In terms of I don't value them maybe as much as other coaches. We're all different. But I think probably the data that matters is the one in the top corner. If you won the game or if you're not, because I'm not looking back at if we play a game and we, for example, we win the game but we've not performed at all. I'm not looking back going, well, my XG was low. I'm just thinking that there's 3 points on the board. So the data that matters to me is the one in the top corner. Do we look at data for the KPIs in terms of performance, evolving performance, strategy, philosophy, methodology? Yes, because it shows us we're moving in the right direction and hopefully the trajectory is going this way and not this way. But yeah, there's going to be different opinions on those things, and a lot of data I will look at, as I said, for KPI and player development. But the one when I'm in a game, I'm just looking at that top corner where it says Spurs have got more goals than the other team.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and good luck at the weekend.
Thank you, Helen. Take care.
Dan Pentland.
Martin, hope you're well.
You too.
I just want to touch on kind of the mental kind of roller coaster of last week, because you come across personally as really positive and wanting to see the positives of getting that draw. So, what was it like for the players? Because I imagine it was a bit of a knockout blow at the end. Have you kind of had to lift them anyway?
Yeah, I think the same as what I said at the start, Dan. There was raw emotion of joy, of happiness, of like kind of pride because we performed so well. And I think I had a feeling just before that game, going into the game, on the match day, arriving at the stadium, I felt we had some edge about us and there was a good feeling around the group. And I think we went in with a quiet confidence in terms of in ourselves, respecting Manchester United and any team we play against, but going in with a quiet confidence that we could be competitive and we wasn't going to just take part in the game. And then since the game, after the game finished, disappointment, players annoyed with not coming out with the win. And but if you see that now from where I seen the mentality at the start of my time when I got here, that's a big shift in terms of knowing we want more and knowing we can deliver more and being in a place where we're unhappy with coming out with a draw. And I don't think many teams go to Lee Sports Village in the time I've been there over the last 3 or 4 years and score 3 goals, go in front and put them on the back foot. And I felt we performed well in that game, but I haven't had to do much. The players' motivation within is enough to say, okay, we want to put things right. We're not happy with conceding 3 goals and drawing the game. And I want to go into this because it's a different type of objective and outcome at the end of this. You can be in a semi-final of a cup, and we want to be competitive in every competition we're in. And when there's silverware sitting in front of you that you can maybe see, maybe that'll give us the extra motivation and edge we need going into Sunday.
Just finally, I just want to touch on Bristol City, obviously hosting the final. I know it feels like the finals have kind of been maybe a little bit more centralised in the country in recent years. It's a long way for us Northerners, but yeah, what's your thoughts on that final?
Yeah, I think I only seen it yesterday. So yeah, I think wherever it's going to be played, we have to acknowledge that we respect that. It's in a big stadium. I think it's good for maybe if you're in one part of the country, you want it to be close to you or you want it more centralised. But actually, I think fan bases around the whole of the UK having the opportunity to go to these finals is important. It shows that going around the UK, that if we can move around certain stadiums, it actually brings more recognition and commercial interest in women's sport and in women's football. And if we're in that final, which I want us to be in that final, it won't be no difference for us if we were playing a Tottenham Hotspur stadium or we were playing at Bristol in a final. We need to make sure we go into that with a mindset that you're going to go and win the final no matter where it is.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Martin. Best of luck and have a good Christmas.
Cheers, you too.
Alia.
Morning, Martin.
Morning.
Just looking on last weekend, the Spurs fans could certainly be heard against the home crowd. A nice moment I saw from watching was in the 7th minute, the dedication chance to Jess Naz, who unfortunately sustained an ACL injury earlier on. How important is the fan support for the team? How big is that going to be for the game this weekend?
Yeah, really important, and yeah, you could hear that support and obviously recognition and empathy for Jess within that game, and yeah, the fans have been outstanding. Whether that's home games, if that's away games, and I think the away support and travel has been outstanding for people to show that commitment and that passion for the team is something we hold very dearly to us, and we're very respectful for, and we appreciate a lot, because they're the moments where they maybe get you over the line. You need that extra spark that will get you over the line, and yeah, we're very thankful for that, because we know it takes a lot for people to travel up and down the country. So yeah, that'll make a big difference on the weekend.
Yeah, and should Spurs win progress this weekend, they'll most likely face Arsenal away for a spot in that final. Is the prospect of a North London derby extra motivation to do well this weekend, and how confident would you feel to face them for a place in the final?
Yeah, really confident. I'm confident no matter who we come up against. If we apply ourselves correctly, we have the right mindset and attitude, then we can be competitive with anyone. And I think we've showed that throughout the season so far. When we're in the right space, and we perform to the levels we do, and we're confident and we believe in one another, we're competitive with everyone. And yeah, if that's Arsenal in the next round, then we have to make sure that we're ready for that game.
Yeah, and finally for me, we've seen academy goalkeeper Erin Radbourne in recent matchday squads. Is the plan to rotate her with fellow academy players Sophie Jackson, so that both of them can learn from the likes of Lisa Cock and Eleanor Heaps, and to gain senior experience?
Yeah, I think for any of the younger players, if it's Erin, if it's Sophie, if it's JP, if anyone around the group who's been with us, I think them gaining valuable experience, not just on match day, but around training process and training kind of ground is important. And we have a lot of younger players that are around us on a daily basis that maybe everyone doesn't see. I'm really big on that side of the game, youth development, giving young players an opportunity, helping them mature within our environment and our senior environment, so they know what it's like to be a professional footballer. And maybe we've seen with some of them, Araya, Lena, and some of the other younger ones around the group, I'm not afraid to give them an opportunity. And when they get the opportunity to be on the pitch or be part of the squad or a training squad, it's giving them the exposure. And we'll continue to do that moving forward. It's a huge part of the club and the ethos of this club to develop our own players, and that's something I'm really big on, and we connect really well on. So yeah, the opportunity for Erin to be around and Sophie over these last period of the season has been important, and I know they've gained valuable experience and kind of maturity from being around it.
Thanks, Martin.
Cheers, thank you, Ella.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Cheers, guys, thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
You too.